Hello again, pipe smokers. Let me just adjust that. I didn't use this part of the camera. As it says on the label, fairly obvious, I'm going to be talking about Latakia, and I'm going to do my housekeeping first of all. I am smoking Dunhill Nightcap. Yeah. Now I know this has made a comeback, and I'm sure loads of you have tried this, but this is central to this video. And I'm smoking in the Butte Choquin that I bought in Bruges. Remember I told you about in my third video. Yes, I know, look, you probably can't pick it up there. It is pretty much in pristine condition. Now I do smoke my clean my pipes regularly, sorry, but this one I decided to devote to Latakia. I thought it somehow fitting to smoke English blends in a French pipe. I don't know whether that's wrong or not, but such is the way it is. And the point is, I don't actually smoke Latakia that much. I am not what would be called an enthusiast or an aficionado of it. And I don't know why that is, because I do quite enjoy it. I'd say my relationship with Latakia is a couple of friendly acquaintances that meet up once, maybe twice a week, maybe every fortnight. But when we get together for an hour or two, we have a good time. And that's it. And that has been like that for years, certainly the last 3 or 4 years. And it's never bothered me. It still doesn't bother me actually, but what made me question that it might be slightly odd was when I started watching YouTube. Well, not even when I started watching YouTube, predominantly in the last few months. I've been watching more YouTube videos by more pipe presenters. And I'm really enjoying this, but this is what I would call, to use a phrase I think was coined by the much missed Pipes to Jim, a Latakia bomb. My two, well, again, I think maybe they're called English blends, they are. The two tobaccos I use are Sam Gower's Squadra Leader, which I absolutely love, and Peterson's Old Dublin. I smoke those all the time. They're the only two I've had, and only two I've had for quite some time, years in fact. So recently, you know, I've been watching these guys, and the same names keep coming up. It seems to be more people are talking about Latakia than anything else. I may just be imagining that. It's, you know, the Northwoods, Boswell's Northwoods, one I hear an awful lot about. Esoterica's Penzance, the Throgmorton across the pond on the town, I think, and GLP's is Black Point, and Westminster. Although I believe Westminster might be a kind of Balkan copy of Dunhill's standard mixture or London mixture. See, I'm not very good at technical stuff with this, but I think that's right anyway. And you know, people are going enthusiastic about it and getting really high ratings. I'm thinking, why can't I feel like that? Why do I not feel like that about Latakia? But I want to go to it more regularly every day. I can afford to do that. I have a couple of smokes in the evening, a Virginia, and have a nice night smoke during the, you know, before sleep. Because let's say, I presume it says here, a rich flavouring smoking mixture for the evening with its period of relaxation and leisure. Perfect. Yeah, and I do smoke the English blends before I go to bed. Low in nicotine, very soothing. And I thought, well, it's obviously not the taste thing, because I'm smoking it and I'm enjoying it. Why is it? Why is it I'm not driven to have that smoke more regularly than I do? And I think I might have come up with the answer, or it may just be hokum. We'll see what you think. Anyway, it does involve another anecdote, I'm afraid. I'm not going to keep doing these, it's just coincidental. But it's about tobacco, and I hope it's of some interest, okay? So it goes back to when I first started smoking again. I know when I first started smoking, because I can prove it. Here's a little welcoming guide I got. Is that in focus there? My Pipe Smoker's Welcoming Guide, 1999. Long since defunct. These, you can't get these anymore. And it was given to me by the shop where I bought my first pipe that my daughter chose. I remember me saying that. Anyway, that's beside the point. And I wanted to try a new tobacco. I had 60 tins of Capstan Navy Flake, and I'm not going to smoke that all the time. You know, as much as I loved it, you need a variety, okay? So I was ready to try something different. Now, a little caveat here. 1999-2000, remember, if you're old enough to remember them, and if you're not, I'm going to tell you. The internet, I mean, the internet probably been around for, I don't know, 10 years as a network structure. The World Wide Web, or the .com, was embryonic. It really only took off, I think, 2001. So we're talking about 6 months or a year before then. You could probably get it, but the bandwidth technology was scarce, and if you could buy it, if I recall, was incredibly expensive. Otherwise, you had to dial up on a rubbish modem. I certainly didn't have internet. So I had no resource to information about tobaccos. I doubt whether there was that much tobacco information on there if you could get access to it. There were no magazines around. The only place you could really go to get any informative stuff was a tobacconist. Now, one of the good things about this little pipe smoker's guide, yes, it does break down the different types of tobaccos. Light Virginias, dark Virginias, Kentucky, Burley, Latakia. But the description is brief, and I'm not going to flick through it while I'm on this video to find out what it says. But, you know, Latakia, a smoky blend. Fine. It's smoke. Yes, we all know now what that means. But at the time I thought, it's a bit odd. So I thought, right, I'm going to have to go to tobacconists. Yeah. And another great thing in here, which takes up most of the book, was it lists every single known tobacconist at the time, of which obviously there were a lot more than there are now, across the UK, all split down into region. My region where I lived and worked was the southeast. I worked in London at the time, so I checked that out, thinking there were going to be more tobacconists in London. Indeed there were. There was one 15 minutes walk from where I worked in the city, the square mile at the time, and another one in Covent Garden, which I think might still be there actually. Yep, that's gone out again. Excuse me. So I popped out one lunchtime, 15-minute walk down to this tobacconist nearby, and turned out it was predominantly for cigar. There was a huge humidor which probably took up 2/3 of the shop. But they had a decent selection of pipe tobaccos and seemed to be a mass of cigarettes. But in an eye-catching display at the front on the glass counter were all the range of Dunhills, the original Dunhills when they were blended by Murray's, I think, at that time. And I was looking through them. And, you know, it was Dunhill Nightcap, makes a reappearance there as the thread. It caught my eye, and I seem to recall it was the same description on there, didn't say anything about Latakia. There wasn't that bloody great smoking kills warning you used to get in there. It was a big blue tin, with a nice little nightcap, clay pipe, a little candle holder. Nightcap, fantastic. That drew me. And I picked the guy, I said, that sounds like a nice old English blend. He went, yeah, it certainly is. He was right, of course. I didn't know what an English blend was there. I just thought it was Virginia's. How would I tell any different? So I thought, I'll pick that up. I judged the book by its cover. Okay. So imagine my surprise when I got home and popped it open. What? It was completely alien to me. Totally different, a polar opposite to what I was expecting. To the extent where I just put the lid back on it and I didn't smoke it for 3 days. Well, I didn't touch it for 3 days, let alone smoke it. I picked it up again after 3 or 4 days, just think, yeah, that does smell really strange. And it was starting to get a bit dry. And I had, 4 pipes at the time. One of them was a basket pipe, so I thought, well, that's a bit strange. I'm going to push some in there. I've still got the basket pipe, dedicated to Latakia, by the way, of course. And fired it up, knowing that it probably didn't taste as it smells. At least I'd learned that much at the time, and it tasted weird as well. Again, completely misinformed, completely different to what I was expecting. A shock, I think. Probably sounds a bit extreme, but given what I've said, all the background of it, it was a shock. And I didn't touch it for years after that, really. Then as the internet became more prevalent, I learned a lot more about tobaccos. I became more experienced about tobaccos. I thought, okay, yeah, it is a completely different thing. It's like the tobacco equivalent of a separate food group. And I thought, I need to go back to this now. I didn't go back to Nightcap because I was reading a lot about Rattray's Red Rapparee. So I bought a 100-gram tin of that. Didn't like that either. You know, it wasn't dominantly Latakia, but it was too citrusy and lemony for me, and it's a finicky tobacco. You have to pack it really tight, probably more so than any other tobacco. You have to have a really clean pipe and smoke it just slowly enough to get that full flavour out of it, but I didn't like it anyway. So it was another couple of years. I put it away until I discovered Old Dublin, and I thought, yeah, that's really good. So anyway, that's it. I think that's really the reason why I don't go to Latakia more often. Does that sound feasible, or do I just have some unresolved Latakia issues? I don't know, let me know. But I do like Latakia. So anyway, that's it really. I'm hoping to do a couple more videos the weekend. I've got to go and see my folks. One of them I hope is going to be a box opening. I bought a new pipe. It's going to be fairly insignificant, but one of the things I do want to do, and it's kind of come on from when I was smoking the Bosun cut plug, I'm going to do a video about plugs and twists, so I hope some of you are interested enough to want to watch that. If not, I've given you warning to avoid it. Okay, so I will see you again shortly. Again, thanks very much for all the subscriptions. I spent last night replying and subscribing, which is why I didn't get a chance to do a video last night, despite the fact that I tried to say to myself I'd try to do one every night. Okay. I'm trying to get them out regularly. So again, thanks for all the lovely comments and encouraging comments. Keep them coming. I've been absolutely overwhelmed and touched, really, genuinely. So always be as one with your pipe, guys. I'll talk to you soon, and thanks very much. Cheerio.